The world of pageantry is something that not too many are familiar with, yet I believe it is a very interesting subject and I would like to share this information with you. In fact, as a pageant girl myself, I had no idea that one of the first recorded beauty pageants in America was in the 1880s. Hi, my name is Leah Sanchez, and of course, I will be talking about pageants. One of the first things that many might go to think about is Miss Universe or Miss America or even toddlers and tiaras. And of course, that's great because that's what is pageants today. Not all are the same, not all are like that, and not all require the same things. After over a year of participating in this certain pageant organization, I have learned more about what goes on behind the curtains and the stress before the crowns. But there is, of course, a lot to unpack with the history and what pageants look like now, even if they aren't all beauty-based. Today, I will explain about the earliest beauty pageants, the type of beauty pageants, and what beauty pageants look like in this day. Now that I've mentioned that one of the first here in America was over 2 centuries ago, let's get into the history of it all. Who hasn't heard of some sort of pageant? Unfortunately, not that many know that the first ever public judgment of a woman's beauty can be seen all the way back to ancient Greece. They were known as contests of physique and were mostly for the men than they were for the women. So basically, it was women standing up on a platform offering something to the men. And the men, if they liked what they had to offer, whether it be food or something towards the family or even just their bodies, it was up to the men to decide, yes, I take her as my beauty queen, and yes, I'll take her in. They chose one out of 3, and that's one of the first ones. And of course, after time, it evolved, and not soon, but time after, it went on to England, Great Britain, and medieval times. So of course, a large gap had passed before any of that, but pageants were still going on. In England, they had a similar set of challenges, and as stated in a PBS article, English May Day celebrations involve the selection of queens, and of course they meant queens like this, not queens of England. Of course, they meant who was the most beautiful girl, and we're going to choose her, and she's going to represent what a beautiful girl is supposed to look like, what a English girl is supposed to look like in our society. She's a perfect girl. Okay. When it finally came to America in 1880, the first bathing suit contest took place in Delaware, with inventor Thomas Edison as judge. Very interesting, right? Yeah, it's pretty crazy how someone we know as an inventor can be a judge in a bathing suit contest. Not a beauty contest, bathing suit contest. But it was still considered a beauty pageant because it had to be the woman that looked the most beautiful in that bathing suit. All 3 examples were beauty pageants, even if they went by different names. So now let's talk about the different types of beauty pageants. Not all pageants are designed mainly to show off who's the most beautiful woman out of 50 plus contestants, at least today. First, there are the glitz pageants. Of course, they are what they sound like, glitz and glam. That's what most people think about when they think about pageants. And a perfect example of that would be toddlers and tiaras. Because they showed how a little girl should be most beautiful. Everything about those little girls is artificial, from down to their hair, their teeth. They had to put on very sexualized outfits, unfortunately. And in 2020, the show is not, look so lightly because they are little girls and they are being made to look good in their eyes, but really it's age inappropriate. It's not appropriate for those little girls, I believe. And a lot do as well. Next, there are the semi-glitz. And in an article by pageant enthusiast Crystal Bell, explains that these pageants are toned down versions of glitz pageants. So most physical appearance must be age appropriate and nothing to exaggerate. So nothing similar to toddlers and tiaras, because this would be more like a Miss America thing, where if a woman of age 30 is wearing something that an 18-year-old would wear, the judge would take upon that and catch their attention on it, because that is not age appropriate. Lastly, there are natural pageants, much like the one that I have participated in. None of the makeup can be worn exaggerated, and the judges focus on what the inner beauty consists of, and they test that through interviews, through with the way we speak and our speeches at the beginning, at the end, our walk with our gowns. And yes, of course, we have to look nice, but it has to be age appropriate, and we have to look presentable. Okay, it's a pretty normal thing that everything changes and evolves through time, and pageantry today is very different than it was a long time ago. Nowadays, the rules for who can and who cannot compete are much more lenient, and usually it is just that they pay the fees. Pageants are no longer limited to the color of skin, height, or weight. There are pageants for everyone. To sum things up, it's not for everyone, but there's a pageant for everyone. So you can be triangle, oval, square, whatever shape, size, color you are, there's a pageant for you. Pageants have been around for a very long time, even though it's been through different ways. Lastly, pageants are very different, and it's not limited on who can compete. It is important that I share this with you so that you can see that pageants aren't a bad thing. I've had a great experience, honestly, and I've been able to reach out to my community in ways that I did not think I would before. And I do confirm today that I do plan on continuing my future in pageantry, to continue on my platform and to help out others as I have in the past, and as I still reign Miss Bellflower Princess of 2019. Thank you.